Good evening, everyone. I want to begin by acknowledging something that is deeply personal to all of us. Something that touches the very core of who we are, how we live, and how we love. Tonight we are going to talk about the power of patience, the strength in stillness, and the deep wisdom in trusting the timing of your life. Now, I know many of you are thinking, what does it mean to let him come to me? It's a question that often arises when we feel the pressure to chase after what we want, to go after what we deserve, or to claim what we believe is ours. But here's the thing, true power doesn't come from chasing. True power comes from knowing your worth, being rooted in your essence, and allowing what is meant for you to find its way. Let's dive into this together. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful and transformative realizations you can have in your life. It's not just a catchphrase, it's the foundation of everything that will follow. When you know your worth, you stand in your power. You no longer allow others to dictate how you should feel about yourself. You don't need external validation to affirm your value, because deep down you understand that you are enough just as you are. Knowing your worth means recognizing that you have inherent value regardless of your circumstances, achievements, or anyone else's opinion of you. It's about accepting yourself with all your flaws and all your strengths, understanding that both contribute to who you are. We often spend so much of our lives trying to meet others' expectations, trying to fit into molds that don't suit us, trying to prove ourselves worthy of love, success, or respect. But when you truly understand your worth, you stop chasing after approval. Instead, you begin to make choices that honor your authentic self, your dreams, and your desires. When you know your worth, you stop seeking validation from others because you realize that your validation comes from within. This doesn't mean you become dismissive of feedback or that you stop listening to constructive criticism. It simply means that you don't let the negative voices or judgments of others define you. It's easy to get caught up in the opinions of those around you, especially in a world that constantly measures us against impossible standards. But when you know your worth, you create a shield against the negativity that may try to break through. You develop a sense of peace that comes from knowing that who you are is enough, even if others can't always see it or understand it. It's important to remember that knowing your worth isn't about arrogance or superiority over others. It's not about saying, I am better than you or I deserve more than you. Knowing your worth is simply acknowledging your value and refusing to diminish yourself to fit into a space that doesn't honor who you are. It's about respecting yourself enough to walk away from situations, relationships, or environments that drain you, undervalue you, or make you feel small. It's about setting standards in your life that reflect the love and respect you have for yourself. When you know your worth, you begin to attract the right people and opportunities into your life. You stop chasing after things that don't align with your true self, and you open the door for the right things to come in. People who value you will show up, not because you are perfect, but because they see your authentic value, your spirit, and your unique qualities. When you know your worth, you give others permission to see you in your full light. You give others the space to love you for who you truly are, rather than for the persona you may have constructed out of fear or insecurity. Another important aspect of knowing your worth is realizing that it's a lifelong journey, not a one-time realization. We grow, we change, and we evolve, and so does our understanding of ourselves. Sometimes life's challenges or setbacks can make us question our worth, but it's in those moments that we need to remember our truth, that our worth is not contingent on our failures or shortcomings, but on our resilience, our ability to rise again, and the love we have for ourselves even when things get tough. Take the time to reconnect with who you are, to nurture your spirit, and to honor your needs. Look in the mirror and see yourself for all that you are: beautiful, worthy, powerful. When you do this, you stop seeking validation from others and you begin to create the kind of life that reflects the love and respect you have for yourself. It's in this space that true transformation happens. Knowing your worth is the key to everything else. It's the foundation upon which you build your relationships, your career, your dreams, and your life. When you know your worth, you stop settling for less. You stop accepting toxic behaviors, unhealthy relationships, and unfulfilling circumstances. You start living a life that is aligned with your values, your desires, and your truth. You walk through the world not seeking approval, but knowing that you are already whole, already enough. And in doing so, you create a ripple effect. People around you start to recognize and respect your worth because it's reflected in how you carry yourself and how you treat others. When you know your worth, you become a beacon for others to recognize their own value. You inspire them to look within and to see themselves as worthy of love, respect, and success. The more you honor your worth, the more you encourage others to do the same. And that, my friends, is how we build a world of people who stand in their power, who love themselves deeply, and who attract only the best into their lives. So remember this: when you know your worth, you make choices that reflect your value. You walk away from the things that don't serve you. You open up to the things that truly matter, and you create space for what is meant for you to come to you naturally and effortlessly. And most importantly, you understand that your worth is not something you have to prove to anyone. It simply is. Trusting the process is one of the most profound and powerful acts of self-love and surrender you can engage in. It requires a deep belief that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when things don't look or feel the way you imagine they would. We live in a world that often demands instant results, constant action, and immediate gratification. We're taught to hustle, to grind, to make things happen, and while there's certainly value in hard work and determination, trusting the process means that you step away from that constant urge to force things to happen on your own timeline. It's the courage to let go, to stop pushing against the natural flow of your life, and to allow things to unfold in their own time. Trusting the process means accepting that your life is a journey, not a race. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need to be at a certain place by a certain time, that we need to have the house, the job, the relationship, or the success by a particular age or point in our lives. We look at others around us and wonder why their process seems to be moving faster than ours. We compare ourselves to the highlight reels of other people's lives and feel inadequate or behind. But what if we chose to see our journey for what it is: unique, beautiful, and perfectly designed for our own personal growth and evolution? What if we understood that our timeline doesn't need to look like anyone else's in order for us to be successful or fulfilled? Trusting the process also means embracing the seasons of our lives. There are times when we're in a phase of growth where things may seem uncertain or uncomfortable. And then there are times of quiet reflection or preparation where it might feel like nothing is happening at all. Both are necessary. Both are part of the process. Sometimes the waiting period, the time when it feels like nothing is changing or moving, is the most crucial part of the process. It's in these moments that we learn patience, resilience, and self-trust. We're given the opportunity to dig deeper within ourselves, to reflect on what we truly want, and to prepare ourselves for what is to come. It's during these quieter seasons that we cultivate the strength to handle what lies ahead. Trusting the process also involves understanding that not everything is meant to happen immediately, and that delays or detours are not setbacks, they are part of the journey. There's a certain beauty in the unfolding, in the way life sometimes leads us down unexpected paths to bring us exactly what we need. Often the things we think we want aren't the things we truly need, and the delays in our lives are merely redirections to something greater, something more aligned with our soul's purpose. When you trust the process, you allow the universe, fate, or whatever higher force you believe in to guide you to what is truly meant for you without trying to control the timing of it. It's important to recognize that trusting the process does not mean sitting back and doing nothing. It doesn't mean passively waiting for things to happen while you're not actively engaged in your own growth. It means showing up, doing the work, and still having faith that everything you're doing is leading you somewhere important. Trusting the process means taking inspired action, but it also means surrendering the outcome. You do what you can, but you also understand that some things are simply out of your hands, and that's okay. There is a deep, quiet strength in surrender. It's the strength of letting go of control and allowing the ebb and flow of life to guide you. There's a peace in understanding that not everything is meant to be understood immediately, that you don't need to have all the answers right now. You're allowed to take your time to figure things out and to trust that the answers will come when you are ready to receive them. The beauty of life is that it is constantly evolving, and the process of becoming is just as important as the end result. We often focus on reaching the destination, but the journey, the process itself, is where the real transformation takes place. There's also a kind of freedom that comes from trusting the process. When you let go of the need to control every step of your life, you open yourself up to the possibility of miracles, to things beyond what you could have planned or imagined for yourself. The universe has a way of surprising us, of delivering things in ways we could never predict. And when we trust the process, we stop living in fear of the unknown and start living in the magic of possibility. We stop clinging to expectations and start embracing the flow of life with an open heart, knowing that whatever comes is exactly what we need at that time. Trusting the process is also about trusting yourself, your intuition, your inner wisdom, your ability to navigate the twists and turns of your life. You are far more resilient, capable, and resourceful than you give yourself credit for. You have already navigated challenges in your life, and you've emerged stronger every time. When you trust the process, you are also learning to trust your own inner guidance, to trust that you have the tools within you to handle whatever comes your way. The confidence to move through life with ease comes from the understanding that you are capable of managing the inevitable highs and lows, the ebbs and flows, with grace and strength. Sometimes trusting the process requires faith. It requires believing in something bigger than yourself, something that is shaping your life in ways that you might not yet understand. This is not always easy, especially when you are in the midst of struggle or uncertainty. But in those moments of doubt, remind yourself that you are exactly where you need to be. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of pause is preparing you for something greater, something more aligned with your highest good. So trust the process. Trust that you are not behind, you are not lost, and you are not stuck. Your journey is unfolding perfectly, and every experience is an essential part of your evolution. Let go of the pressure to rush or force things to happen, and instead embrace the beauty of the process. Trust that everything is coming to you in its perfect timing, and allow yourself to flow with it. Keep taking action, keep believing, and keep moving forward. The best is yet to come, and when the time is right, you'll be exactly where you need to be. Setting the standard in your life is one of the most empowering things you can do. It's about being clear on what you expect from yourself and from the world around you. It's about deciding what you are willing to accept and what you are not, without apology. When you set the standard, you stop waiting for others to tell you who you should be or how you should show up. You become the architect of your own life, building it according to the values, beliefs, and boundaries that matter most to you. At the core of setting the standard is understanding your worth. If you don't know your own value, you will allow others to define it for you. You'll find yourself settling for less than you deserve simply because you haven't yet defined what enough looks like. But when you set the standard, you take ownership of your worth. You establish clear expectations for how you want to be treated, how you want to be loved, and what you need in order to feel respected and fulfilled. You no longer leave things to chance, waiting for the world to catch up to your needs. Instead, you take a proactive stance in creating a life that aligns with your values. Setting the standard means making decisions based on what you truly want, not what you think you can get. Too often we compromise, thinking that if we settle for less, we will eventually get more. But that's not how the universe works. When you set the standard for your life, you create a vibrational match for what you truly desire. If you settle for mediocre, that's exactly what you'll continue to receive. But when you hold yourself to a higher standard, you align with the energy of abundance, excellence, and authenticity. This is how you attract the people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your true self. Another important aspect of setting the standard is clarity. When you know what you want, you are not easily swayed by the opinions of others or by fleeting desires that don't serve your long-term vision. You become grounded in your choices, whether it's in relationships, career, or personal growth. When you set the standard, you become crystal clear on what you are no longer willing to tolerate. You set boundaries that are non-negotiable, not as a form of control, but as a form of self-respect. You communicate your needs with confidence, knowing that you are worthy of receiving exactly what you ask for. Setting the standard also means learning how to say no. This can be one of the hardest things for many of us to do because we fear disappointing others or losing opportunities. But by not setting boundaries or saying no when something doesn't align with our values, we give away our power. We lose sight of our own worth. But when you get comfortable saying no, you are not just protecting your time or energy, you are teaching others how to treat you. Saying no is a form of self-respect. It's a way of saying, this does not serve me and I choose something better for myself. And the more you say no to things that don't align with your standards, the more you create space for the things that do. When you set the standard, you also cultivate a sense of accountability in your life. You hold yourself responsible for the choices you make and the actions you take. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming external circumstances, other people, or life itself when things don't go as planned. But when you take ownership of your life and set the standard, you understand that you are the one in control. If something isn't working, you don't wait for someone else to change it for you. You take the necessary steps to shift the situation, whether it's changing your mindset, your approach, or your actions. By setting the standard, you empower yourself to take charge of your life, knowing that you are the ultimate creator of your reality. Setting the standard also means choosing to walk away from situations or relationships that do not meet the level of respect and authenticity you've set for yourself. It can be uncomfortable, especially when it involves people you care about or situations that feel familiar. But growth never happens in your comfort zone. By walking away from what doesn't serve you, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready for something better. You are creating space for new, more aligned experiences to enter your life. You are teaching others what you will and will not tolerate, which in turn raises the collective standard around you. It's important to recognize that setting the standard doesn't mean you are perfect or that you have to have it all figured out. It's about being authentic and true to yourself, even when it's difficult. It's about creating a vision of the life you want and being unapologetic in pursuing it. There will be setbacks, there will be moments of doubt. But when you set the standard, you give yourself permission to rise above those moments, to learn from them, and to continue on your path with confidence. One of the greatest rewards of setting the standard is that it helps you cultivate self-love and self-respect. When you set high expectations for yourself, you send a message to yourself that you are worthy of the best. You stop engaging in behaviors that undermine your self-worth, and you begin to make choices that align with your highest good. As a result, your self-esteem flourishes. You begin to feel more empowered and confident because you know you are making decisions based on what you truly want, not based on fear or scarcity. The more you set the standard, the more you start living in alignment with your true self. You stop second-guessing yourself or compromising your values. Instead, you become steadfast in your belief that you deserve the best that life has to offer. Setting the standard is also a form of leadership. When you set the standard for your life, you not only raise the bar for yourself, but you inspire others to do the same. People are influenced by the energy you project. When you show up confidently, honor your boundaries, and live authentically, you create a ripple effect that encourages others to do the same. You become a beacon of possibility, showing others that they too can set the standard in their own lives and create lives that are aligned with their deepest desires. In a world where so many are willing to settle or conform, setting the standard is an act of rebellion against mediocrity, against living small, against being anything less than your true, full self. It's an act of choosing yourself, your values, and your dreams over the opinions or expectations of others. It's about creating a life that reflects your worth, your desires, and your purpose, and doing so with the confidence that you are worthy of every good thing that comes your way. I encourage you to set the standard in every area of your life. Decide what you will accept, what you won't tolerate, and what you are deserving of. Raise the bar for yourself and watch as the world starts to rise to meet it. Being patient in your power is a practice that requires both discipline and trust. It's not about sitting idly, waiting for things to happen while you do nothing. Instead, it's about knowing that your strength, your potential, and your desires are already within you and having the wisdom to wait for the right timing. It's about understanding that sometimes growth happens in the stillness and that the process of becoming is as valuable, if not more so, than the outcome. Patience in your power means resisting the urge to rush. In a world that encourages speed, urgency, and constant motion, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if you're not constantly doing something, you're falling behind. We are taught to measure success by how much we accomplish, how quickly we reach our goals, and how fast we climb the ladder of success. But patience in your power flips this narrative. It's about recognizing that your worth isn't tied to how fast you move, but to how you move in alignment with your truth and your values. When you're patient in your power, you stop comparing yourself to others. You stop measuring your progress against someone else's timeline or achievements. You understand that your journey is unique and that success doesn't look the same for everyone. This kind of patience comes with a deep respect for your individual path. It's the knowing that what is meant for you will come, and rushing won't bring you any closer to it. Instead, forcing things, pushing beyond your limits, or moving too quickly could actually lead to burnout, disillusionment, or misalignment. It's also important to remember that patience doesn't mean being passive. Being patient in your power means being active in your growth without needing immediate results or acknowledgement. It's the understanding that the seeds you plant today may take time to sprout, but that doesn't mean they're not growing. Every step you take, every moment you invest in your personal development is creating the foundation for something greater. When you are patient in your power, you understand that the small actions you take today are a part of a much larger unfolding process. This practice of patience also requires deep trust, not just in the universe or life's timing, but in yourself. You trust that you are capable, that you have everything within you to manifest your dreams, even if it doesn't happen overnight. You trust that the experiences, lessons, and people who are meant to help you evolve will come into your life exactly when you need them. You trust that when the time is right, everything will align and you will be ready to step into the next phase of your journey. Part of being patient in your power is having the courage to wait for what truly aligns with your energy and values rather than jumping into opportunities or relationships that look good on the surface but don't feel right deep down. It's about having the discipline to say no when necessary, to turn down things that don't serve your greater vision, and to wait for the right doors to open. There is strength in knowing that you don't need to seize every opportunity that comes your way. You are discerning and you trust that the right opportunities will come in their own time, and when they do, you'll be ready. When you are patient in your power, you also learn to honor the natural rhythms of life. There are times when life moves quickly, and there are times when things slow down. Both phases are important. In the quiet, slower moments, you may find that you are given the space to reflect, reassess, and realign. You are not in a race, you are on a journey. And part of this journey requires embracing the ebb and flow, understanding that not every moment needs to be filled with action or visible progress. Some of your most powerful growth happens in the spaces between. In the moments when impatience creeps in, it's important to recognize the role that fear plays. Fear often drives us to rush, to take shortcuts, or to push ourselves beyond our limits because we worry about missing out, falling behind, or not getting what we want in time. But when you're patient in your power, you let go of fear. You release the need to control every detail of the process and allow yourself to trust the unfolding of your life. You believe that the right things will come at the right time, and in the meantime, you focus on strengthening yourself, building your resilience, and staying true to your path. This kind of patience doesn't mean resigning yourself to passivity or complacency. It means staying focused and intentional in your actions while also allowing space for things to fall into place. It's about balance, knowing when to take bold, decisive action and when to step back, wait, and trust that what you are doing will bear fruit. There's a wisdom in knowing that not every moment is the right moment to act, and sometimes the most powerful choice you can make is to wait and let things unfold naturally. When you choose patience in your power, you are also cultivating inner peace. You stop fighting against the process and instead you flow with it. You stop being anxious about where you should be or what you should have accomplished by a certain age or stage in your life. The constant pressure of needing to be ahead or to be doing more falls away. Instead, you find peace in knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do. In those moments of peace, you make your best decisions. You access clarity. You open yourself up to creative inspiration, new insights, and opportunities that you wouldn't have noticed if you were caught up in a frenzy of impatience and rushing. There is also a deep connection between patience and gratitude. When you practice patience in your power, you learn to appreciate the present moment. You start to realize that even when things aren't moving as fast as you'd like, there is still value in where you are right now. You learn to find joy in the small victories, in the lessons you're learning, and in the person you are becoming as you wait for the next step in your journey. The more you practice patience, the more you understand that life is not a race, it's a series of experiences, each one valuable, each one a stepping stone to something greater. Being patient in your power also means acknowledging that some things are beyond your control, and that's okay. While you can take inspired action, put in the work, and remain consistent, there are external forces at play in every journey. Recognizing this doesn't diminish your power, it enhances it because it frees you from the burden of trying to control every outcome. Instead of fighting against what you can't change, you learn to adapt, to remain flexible, and to keep moving forward with a sense of trust, knowing that your efforts will pay off in due time. Patience in your power is the art of balancing intention with surrender. It's about working hard, staying focused, and doing the necessary work, but also learning to let go of the need to micromanage every aspect of your life. It's a practice of trust not only in the process, but in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You know that when you trust the timing of your life and are patient in your power, everything will come together as it's meant to. Giving space for the right love to find you is an act of profound self-awareness and deep self-respect. It is about creating an environment both within yourself and in your life that is open, welcoming, and aligned with the kind of love you truly deserve. Too often, we rush into relationships or settle for what's available because we fear being alone or feel that time is running out. But love, in its truest and most fulfilling form, cannot be forced, rushed, or manipulated. The right love requires space not just in your physical world, but also in your emotional and mental space to flourish and grow naturally. To give space for the right love to find you, you must first create a healthy relationship with yourself. This doesn't mean being perfect or having everything figured out, but it does mean understanding your worth and not settling for anything less than what truly aligns with your values, your dreams, and your heart. When you love yourself deeply and unconditionally, you stop seeking validation from others, and instead you begin to attract love that is based on respect, admiration, and authenticity. You stop seeking someone to complete you because you recognize that you are already whole. It's this wholeness that creates the space for the right love to come in. Part of giving space for the right love is letting go of old baggage, past hurts, and outdated beliefs about love. We all carry wounds from previous relationship stories we've told ourselves about not being enough, about love being difficult or painful, or about never finding someone who truly understands us. But if we hold on to these wounds, we unconsciously close ourselves off to the possibility of new, healthy love. The right love can't find you if you're still carrying the weight of old pain and limiting beliefs. So letting go is a necessary step. It doesn't mean forgetting the past or invalidating your experiences, but it means releasing the hold those experiences have on your heart and mind. By doing so, you create space for new, healing energy to enter. When you give space for the right love to find you, you also stop rushing the process. So many of us have been conditioned to believe that love must happen quickly, that relationships should move at a certain pace, or that they should follow a predetermined timeline. We think that love is about finding someone fast and locking it down, but in reality, love is something that grows over time, nurtured by trust, respect, and understanding. The right love doesn't need to be rushed because it develops in its own time, organically. By giving space for love to unfold naturally, you allow it to build on a foundation of mutual connection rather than on fleeting emotions or superficial attraction. This space also involves recognizing and respecting your boundaries. Many times we get caught up in the excitement of a new relationship and let our boundaries slide, thinking that love should be about compromise at all costs. But true love thrives when both people are able to honor and respect their individual needs, desires, and limits. If you don't give space for your own needs and boundaries, you risk losing yourself in a relationship, sacrificing your authenticity in the name of love. But when you honor your own boundaries, you create an environment where the right love can flourish, one that respects you for who you are and encourages both people to grow individually and together. To give space for the right love, you must also cultivate patience. In a world that encourages immediate gratification, it can feel frustrating to wait for the right person to come along. We often want to skip the waiting period, to skip over the learning and growing, to jump directly to the happy ending, but love doesn't work that way. The right love requires patience, not just in waiting for the right person, but in the process of getting to know them, of letting the relationship deepen, and of allowing trust to be built over time. When you cultivate patience, you remove the pressure from yourself and from others. You stop trying to force connections or create chemistry where it doesn't exist. Instead, you allow relationships to unfold in their own time, knowing that the right love will come when the time is right. In addition to patience, giving space for the right love also involves developing a deep sense of self-trust. When you trust yourself, you are confident in your ability to discern what is right for you, and you are no longer afraid to walk away from relationships that don't serve you. Trusting yourself means knowing when to stay and when to let go, when to nurture a relationship and when to step back. It also means trusting that you don't have to settle for anything less than the love you deserve. The right love can only come to you when you are clear about what you want, when you trust that you will recognize it when it arrives, and when you have the courage to wait for the kind of love that honors you completely. Another crucial part of giving space for the right love to find you is learning to enjoy your own company. When you are at peace with being alone, when you enjoy your own company and are fully content with your own life, you stop seeking love out of loneliness or desperation. It's only when you are comfortable in your own skin, when you are fulfilled in your own life, that the right love can come in without pressure. You become magnetic, not because you are seeking love, but because you are seeking love, but because you are fully embodying your own power and peace. When you are whole and happy on your own, you don't need anyone to fix you or fill any gaps in your life. You simply invite someone to share in the fullness of your being. This idea of creating space for love also extends to the way you approach dating and relationships. When you are clear about what you want, you attract what you need. You stop engaging in relationships or dating experiences that don't match your energy. Instead, you attract people who resonate with your soul, people who are aligned with your values, your purpose, and your vision for life. The right love doesn't feel like work, it feels like flow. It doesn't require forcing or chasing, it requires allowing. When you stop trying to control the outcome and start trusting the journey, you give space for the love that is meant for you to come into your life in its own time. At the same time, it's important to remember that giving space for the right love doesn't mean waiting passively. It means being open, being active in your life, and pursuing your own passions and goals while allowing love to come to you naturally. When you are living your life with purpose, doing what brings you joy and fulfillment, you naturally align with the energy of love. This openness, this willingness to embrace all that life has to offer, creates the perfect environment for the right person to show up at the right time. In conclusion, giving space for the right love to find you is a powerful, intentional act of self-care and wisdom. It's about stepping back from the pressure and the noise of external expectations and allowing love to emerge organically without rushing or forcing it. It begins with cultivating a deep, unwavering relationship with yourself, knowing your worth, respecting your boundaries, and honoring your own growth. When you do this, you stop seeking love out of fear or loneliness and start inviting love in from a place of wholeness and confidence. By letting go of past baggage, releasing the need to control the process, and trusting in your own ability to discern what is right for you, you create an open and welcoming space for the right person to find you. You stop comparing your journey to others and begin to enjoy the beauty of your own path. With patience, trust, and clarity, you align with the love that is meant for you, and you stop settling for anything less than the authentic, fulfilling connection that you deserve. The right love, when it finds you, will complement the life you've already built, amplify your strengths, and grow with you. It will not be rushed or forced. It will be a natural unfolding of two people who have taken the time to build strong foundations within themselves first. And in that space, love will flourish not as an act of need, but as an act of mutual respect, growth, and deep connection. When you give space for love to find you, you create a life where love flows effortlessly, bringing with it joy, peace, and fulfillment.